Hello and welcome to the webMethods demo day. My name is Miriç Aydonat and I'm a senior product manager at Software AG. Today I'll be talking to you about the latest offering in our API management suite, that is the developer portal. First, I'll talk to you about its features and then switch to a short demo. Let's start with the features. And let me explain what the developer portal is. Above all, it's a marketplace for your assets. It's where you create a storefront for your APIs to sell them to internal or external developers. That's how you grow your business through opening up your APIs and data for application development. And because this is your storefront, you can dress it however you want. You can use your brand colors, you can use your brand fonts, styling guides, web page templates, add new pages. You can design it however you want. It's where you can also create a Facebook-like page for your APIs to introduce them to the developers. You can list the resources, schemas, methods, and add various documents, including PDFs, Excel files, picture files, PowerPoints, to enrich the developer adoption process. Because as you know, one of the biggest obstacles to API adoption is the lack of good documentation. The developer portal parses your OpenAPI spec, your WSDL, your Swagger, or OData specification, and lists everything on it in a clear interface and lets you add supporting documentation to make it as easy as possible for developers to start using your APIs. webMethods is recognized by the analysts as one of the best solutions out there for monetization. The developer portal, like I said, acts as a storefront, and it lets your consumers subscribe to API packages and provide you with direct revenue through different plans with different SLA. It's also where you can measure the success of your API program. You can look at which APIs or packages are successful or not. How many people are using them? What are the top APIs? What status codes people are getting? Who are the most active users? And many other metrics. By looking at these KPIs, you can reevaluate your API strategy to get the most bang for your buck. So these were all the features that you've used and loved about the API portal. But what's new with the developer portal that we just released last month? It's the next generation of the developers marketplace. We completely re-architected the offering to comply with the needs of today and tomorrow. It's now a microservices-based architecture that is easy to install and very lightweight to operate. We made it headless in nature, meaning there's an API for everything, including login and logout. So, if you want it, you can throw away the user interface that we ship with the product and build your display however you want by just using the developer portal that we ship as an engine. And with these APIs that I've been talking about, we made it extensible and pluggable with third-party offerings. So you can grow your portal as per your needs. We also added webhooks to generate actionable events. When a new API is published or when a new user is onboarded, you can get notifications to take actions. With the new developer portal, we took the customization capabilities to a whole new level. You can be as creative as you want without the need of a web developer. One big differentiator for the developer portal is that it's compatible with third-party gateways and APIs. Look, I'm a product manager for the webMethods API management suite. So I'd love to hug you tight and never let you go. But at the same time, I understand that you have other needs because of your different business units, because of your customers. So I understand that you might have a need to use gateways from other vendors. And we don't want you to feel trapped with webMethods. So one big differentiator with the webMethods is this extensibility and competitor friendliness. And finally, as part of our re-architecture, we made it possible to host any kind of assets, connectors, B2B connections, events. And in the future releases of the developer portal, we will enable it to be a portal of these different types of assets as well. With this, let's switch to the demo. So I'm going to be starting from the Docker Hub page of the developer portal. After you click on the developer portal page and provide your credentials, this is the web page that you're presented with instructions on how to pull this image, as well as getting started. So in order to save some time, I've already pulled the image from the Docker Hub. As you can see, I have the image pulled on my machine. Let's go ahead and follow the instructions now. First, I need to create a private network. Then I need to start the Elasticsearch. For which I already have the image again. And run the developer portal image that I pulled from the Docker Hub. I'm just changing the port because I have port 80 used on my machine. Now let's wait for a couple of seconds for the portal to come up. As you can see, all I did was just to pull the image from Docker Hub and follow the instructions by copying and pasting them onto my terminal here. Let's see if the portal is up. Not yet. So there you go. It just took a minute or so for the developer portal to come up. Now let's close this and sign in. And voila! Now that we have the developer portal working, let's see what we can do with it. And I want to start with login and user management. Let's first create a user and see how easy it is to create a user. I want to create this Mirich user. That is an admin. And I also want to show you how you can use social media login with the developer portal. You go to OAuth and you select OAuth active and then select whatever provider that you want to activate user management from. Let's log out. And when I try to sign in, now I'll see the social media websites that I just activated them. So let's sign in as the new user. Next, what I want to show you is the list of APIs here. Because I just created the developer portal, we're in a blank state and we don't have any APIs listed here. So let's go to the gateway to publish some APIs from there. I've already set up my API gateway to connect with the API portal that I just installed. So here we can test that the configuration is successful and it's working. Now let's go to the APIs and publish these two APIs from the APIs list. Age of Empires API and the Pet Store API. I'm going to use the Pet Store API to show you how monetization works. So let's go ahead and publish the package that includes that API, and that also has two plans attached to it as well. Now that I successfully published my APIs and package, let's go and see if they're indeed there. So as you can see, I have my package 1 with the Pet Store API and Silver and Gold plans. And I also have the two APIs that I have listed there. So let's take a look at the details of the Age of Empires API. Here I can see all the information for me to be able to invoke this API, including the endpoint, including the license, contact name, etc. And I can also take a look at the resources that are included with this API, as well as schemas coming from the API description. I can also see if they are included in any packages and any API documentation here. Developer Portal supports various types of API documentation, including PDFs, PowerPoints, Excels, picture files, etc. And you can also try the API from Try API section, where you can invoke and as a developer see how this API works without having to subscribe to it. So for example, I can just call this method and see what response that I'd be getting from the API. What I want to show you next is how the monetization subscriptions work. So let's go to package 1 and let's subscribe to the Silver plan. Now that I created this application, here I can see the API key to be able to invoke this API. Let's go check this out. And from the gateway, I want to show you what my plan looked like. So I just subscribed to the Silver plan, which has a 5 maximum request quota in 5 minutes. So let's go to Postman to see if my application works. Here, I'm just going to be calling Pet Store find by status get method for all the pets that are available. So let's go ahead and try this out first time. It says unauthorized application request because I haven't provided the API key. So let's go ahead and provide this key. Let's paste the value that I just copied and let's see. Here you can see that I can call this API. This was once, twice, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th one is just rejected because I had 5 requests allowed in this plan. Next, I want to show you the customization features in the developer portal. Let's go to administration and let's go to manage teams. Here I have my default team active, but what I want to do is create a new team. Let's create it. Let's activate the new theme and let's customize it. Here we have rich customization properties that you can just design your pages from the developer portal user interface. Let's go ahead and change the background image, for example. Let's go and change the text that appears. In order to be more organized, you can define keys that you just directly use, or you can just use rich text here as well. So for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to be using text. I can also change to the primary color to, let's do something purple. Let's save this to see the change immediately go into effect. And you can also easily create new pages from the user interface. Let's go to new page and let's customize this page. Let's say this is the header. This is the text. And you can also add columns, you can add rows, etc. to make this a richer page that satisfies the requirements of your organization. Let's save this page and add it to the top navigation. What you can do here is you can either add internal or external pages. Because this is an internal page that I just created in the developer portal, let's select internal for this and let's enter the page name. I can also add new external pages as well. Let's call this software AG. And let's provide an external URL. Let's save this. And after refresh, I can see the new page that I just created, and I can also click on Software AG, which will take me to the link that I provided. The next thing that I want to show you is how you can create events out of the developer portal. And we can use the webhooks page here in the administration. What I'm going to do is just use the online webhook server. So here I have just a random webhook server that I'm going to use for my purposes. I'm going to copy this link, and then I'm going to create this destination and send different events to that destination. Let's call this, let's send API publish, events, republish, unpublish events here. And when I save it, as you can see, it's still waiting for the first request. Let's go back to the gateway and publish some more APIs. Let's publish the SOAP API, as well as one more API. And then let's unpublish this API. And when I go back to my webhook server, I see all the events that are created for the actions that I just took. You can see I have an API publish event for the calculator API. That was a SOAP API. I have a publish API event for this API. And I have an unpublished event as well. And if I go back to API gallery, I can see these events. And I can also add a slicer to slice, for example, by types of API. I can select REST APIs, I can select SOAP APIs, and I can add various slicers as well to be able to filter out my APIs. And what I want to show you finally are the APIs that I was talking about earlier. So with the developer portal, all the feature functionality are available in terms of APIs. And let me go to Postman to show you actually that you can log in, log out, and do everything using the APIs that we provide. So for example, let's go to providers and let's try to list the providers. Because this API requires a login, I wasn't able to list the providers. Now let's try to log in with Marriage username and password. Here I get a status code 200, okay. And when I go back to providers and when I try to list it this time, I am able to list the providers. I also have an API to list the APIs. Here you can see that I can see the APIs that are hosted on the developer portal. Now let's log out using the API again. I just got a 204, successful. And when I go back and try to list the APIs again, I will be able to do that because this is a public API. But because I logged out, this time I won't be able to list the providers. I hope you enjoyed the demo. I, of course, wasn't able to show you everything that the developer portal is capable of. That would take hours. But from what I've shown you, there are 3 things that I'd like to get across. 1, how easy it was to install the developer portal. That's why I started from the Docker Hub and shown you the installation process that took about maybe a minute or 2. The second thing that I'd like to get across are the rich customization properties. So you don't need a web developer to make it look however you want. And the third thing that I'd like to get across is the pluggability of it with the APIs and the webhooks that I've just shown you. Now that you've seen the developer portal, it'd be great if you could take the next steps to see why we're a leader in both the latest Gartner Magic Quadrant and the Forrester Wave. What you can do next is to check out all the amazing updates to the webMethods suite. See the reports that I just mentioned and talk with a webMethods expert. Or you can just try webMethods for free. Thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your day.